Honestly, handing over the money man is fantastic. Matt immediately called Washington, and surprise, the attackers were all fans of the one funding them turned out to be Mexico's top drug lord, Reyes. Post-meeting, Matt was urgently recalled to Washington to the Pentagon. The minister and a bunch of military bigwigs were waiting for him, eager to launch a crackdown on the Mexican drug trafficking collaboration with the base group. As the U.S. military couldn't operate directly in Mexico, Matt, the long-time go-to guy for undercover work, thought, hey, is this my promotion moment? Once the bigwigs learned Matt had a plan, they were all like, we're all in, buddy. However, Matt had to recruit his own team, and if it failed, the government wanted no part of the blame. A little reminder, don't pass the buck to us. I must tell you, if this gets exposed, the consequences are on you. You better be mentally prepared. If they find out, it's game over. If I can just pretend you'd want this plan to go through, and it'll just have to zip it. Silence is golden. With military authorization in hand, Matt jumped into action, finding his old buddies and throwing money around for mercs and gadgets. Then he hurried to Bogot Scent, Colombia, and found his old partner Alejandro, saying, "You let go of you, and he'll let go of me." Upon hearing Ray's name, Alejandro wasted no time and jumped on board with Matt's team. Without skipping a beat, Matt led the crew to Mexico City, posing as Ray's hitman, and assisted in shooting the chief lawyer of the motor group. At Austin, they disguised themselves as Marta's crew and swooped in on Little May's school route. They brazenly kidnapped Ray's only daughter on the street to talk about doing a good deed. They thought this would spark a brawl between the cartels, but plot twist, things took an unexpected turn. Watching the action replay, Matt was shocked to see those two messengers get gunned down by a cop. Things got complicated real fast, igniting a war they never planned for. Oh boy, the game changed. Alejandro led a team posing as U.S. drug enforcement agents, successfully pulling off a dramatic rescue of the kidnapped Mexican girl. Little May was taken back to base, with promises that Sheb would be home after the investigation, and Alejandro turned into her superhero. Matt and Alejandro met with the border officer secretly to plan May's return home. But instead of handing her directly to Reyes, they decided to send her to Marta's turf, knowing the moment Reyes got wind of it, it would be chaos. With everything set, they rushed back, only to nearly hit a teenager bursting out of nowhere. Talk about a hot temper. He even stopped the car until Alejandro's fierce look and the siren made him reluctantly back off. Before long, the border officer wrapped everything up and Matt's crew drove to Mexico in armed hammers, determined to leave no stone unturned. As they left the border check, 7 armed Mexican police trucks escorted them, followed by a U.S. drone for extra protection, a pyramid of safety. Everything was smooth until chaos struck when the convoy hit dirt roads, the dust covered visibility, and Matt was about to contact the drone for heightened vigilance. Suddenly, the police ahead were ambushed, flames erupted, and a rocket took out their armored car like it was a pinata. Those cops were in Ray's pocket. Matt ordered the drone to open fire and took out the rocket shooter, then everyone hopped out of the vehicle. They fought back while using the armored car as cover, but no one noticed that Little May had quietly hopped out of the car. May sensed the chaos like a sixth sense and darted away. The team only realized after. Matt's team wiped out the hired Mexican cops, only to learn from the drone that more were on the way. To avoid escalating the situation, they decided to leave right away, but once back at the armored car, May had vanished. Matt wanted to mobilize the team for a search, but Alejandro stopped him. They just lost honorable cops, and they needed to maintain low-key. If caught by arriving Mexican police, a diplomatic crisis would ensue. So Alejandro stayed to find May, and Matt gave him a signal device. If he managed to find May, all he had to do was activate the locator, and Matt would rush to the rescue. It was a race against time. Facing the chasing Mexican police cars, Matt fired a warning shot, successfully halting them, while Little May flagged down a passing truck on another dirt road. The one getting out was one of Ray's guys, the very same who shot the rockets. but May fled from his blood-stained aura, only to see his head pop off with a gunshot. It was Alejandro to the rescue. They hopped into the assassin's truck and headed north, only to stall in the desert due to fuel running dry. She recognized May as the kidnapped drug lord's daughter, but still sheltered them a true heroine. Back at the base, Matt was immediately subjected to a severe scolding from his superior. It seemed like the money winner was his lifeline. Anyway, the minister ordered Matt to abort the mission instantly, ensuring he was detached from the US government, no leaks allowed. What's more, the identities of the two previous groups of terrorists were confirmed. They were all genuine American folks from New Jersey. They had zero connections to the Mexican cartel, and Matt's scheme crumbled like a house of cards, truly despairing. Reluctantly, Matt dialed Alejandro on the satellite phone, updating him on the situation. It was a matter of life and death. He urged Alejandro to deal with May quickly, otherwise he'd be facing danger too. Plot twist, May had become the hostage. But Alejandro saw May as his own daughter. He just couldn't bring himself to do it. Instead, he asked Matt to send someone to extract him from the border. Matt had to leave it up to Alejandro to figure out how to bring May back to the States. The next morning, Alejandro rode with May in a truck driven by a kind rancher headed for a border town, a true roller coaster ride. Along the way, just in case, he took off May's shoes and slipped in the activated signal device, a clever move for sure.